Amex wants you to believe that the $400 Resy credit on the Platinum Card is as good as cash. But if you read the fine print, the rules on what actually triggers the credit can be a total minefield. If you guess wrong, you're just wasting money on an expensive dinner. So to see where Amex draws the line, I went out into the real world and made 9 completely different Resy transactions on 2 American Express Platinum Cards to see what works and what doesn't. And yes, these tests included gift cards too. Some of the transactions trigger the credit. Others failed miserably. That's why I'm taking you behind the scenes so you know exactly how to lock in your Resy credit. The first step is critical because without it, nothing I tell you in this video will work. So what you want to do is make sure you enroll in the $400 Resy credit prior to making any purchase. Fortunately, it's really easy. If you're on desktop, log into your Amex account, choose your Platinum Card, go to the rewards and benefits section and scroll around until you see $400 Resy credit. Tap on that tile and then you'll be able to activate from there. If you're on mobile, the first part is very similar. Log into your account, choose your Platinum Card, but then tap on the membership tab there at the bottom, scroll around until you see the $400 Resy credit, select it, and then activate. And one more thing up front, a few things that are really good to know here are some extremely important terms. This first section is letting you know that you get $400 to use throughout the entire year, but only up to $100 per quarter of the year. And it's valid for transactions made by you, the primary cardholder, or any of your authorized users. But those AUs don't get their own separate credit. Eligible Resy purchases include purchases made directly from US restaurants that offer reservations on Resy.com and the Resy app and accept American Express cards. Also included are purchases made directly on Resy.com or in the Resy app and purchases made via Resy Pay. In order for your credit to work at a restaurant, that restaurant must be live on Resy.com or the Resy app at the time of purchase to be eligible for your statement credit. If perhaps you're on the business side and make a purchase of the Resy OS restaurant management software or any Resy branded Amex gift card, those are not eligible. And for the part that will interest virtually everybody watching this video right here, gift cards purchased at restaurants or purchases made on site at events when the restaurant uses a third party to process or submit the transaction to American Express. For example, restaurant invites an outside merchant or non-Resy restaurant to sell goods at the event, also may not receive the statement credit. The most important piece there, gift cards may not trigger the credit, which is different than saying will not. And that's why I tested all this for you all in this real world review video. Finally, please allow up to 8 weeks for that credit to post to your account. And that brings us to test number 1. I did this at the Mexican Bar Company restaurant. The method was dining in at the restaurant, and for the item I ordered a simple meal, specifically lunch, and I met up with my brother so we both had the same transaction on the same bill. Since I was meeting my brother, I wanted to make sure that a table was available, so I opened up the Resy app, found the Mexican Bar Company restaurant, looked at their policies, and clicked on the Reserve Now button for the time that worked for us at 12:45 p.m. The reservation was confirmed, and off I went. Here's your first sneak peek of a little behind the scenes. I will admit, the drinks were great, so were the chips and different types of salsas, and the Brussels sprouts too. Unfortunately, I forgot to take a picture of my actual meal, which was one of their burritos. But then I did remember to take a picture of the desserts. So here they are here, one of their cakes and some churros, of course. Gotta do that at a Mexican restaurant. Then came the bill, so I pulled out my Amex Platinum Card here. The total was $113.13. I decided to add $40 for the tip, so all in, it was $153.13. I charged it to the card, it was pending for a couple days, and then when it posted right there on March 22nd, I saw that the amount was good to go. Then 2 or 3 days after that, the credit came on through, and it was backdated to the same day. So March 22nd, and look at that right there, the full $100 Resy credit was used in a single transaction. Pulling up the transaction data, the restaurant name, the category of restaurant, bar, and cafe, also how it appeared on the statement, everything checked out totally normal as a direct transaction transaction. And it did have TST there at the beginning, showing me that their point of sale system was Toast. Keep that in mind for sure, because it will be very important throughout this video. And just so you know, here is their Toast website. They just sell the business solutions to take payments and process them and all that type of stuff. So they have their little kiosk there at the restaurant, and that's the platform they used for the transaction. Also be aware that you can use these $100 quarterly credits in multiple transactions. So to track your progress, in case you don't have 100 plus all at once, if you're at the rewards and benefits tab on your Platinum card, you can scroll down, find the tracker for the Resy Credit, and see how much you've earned for the year, and even for a given quarter if it's less than 100 bucks. So have a meter going across showing, for example, 50 bucks out of 100. Are you ready for the second test? Here we go. Test number 2. This time the place was a restaurant called Cedar and Vine, and I wanted to do a little bit of a different method. This time it was all online, and I wanted to purchase an eGift card, meaning a digital gift card. And I saw that their point of sale system was also Toast. To do this, I found Cedar and Vine on the Resy app, found their info page, scrolled down, and it led me to their website, cedarvinetx.com. So I clicked on that, and then from there I went over to their site. For this video, to make it easier for you all to see, I chose the desktop version here and throughout the rest of the video when I tried different gift cards. That way it's easier to see it all. And this restaurant could not have made it any easier. They had the Resy logo right there in the middle of the screen, and up at their top menu, they had one called Gift Cards. That had a small drop-down menu that said buy a gift card. So I clicked on that, filled out all the info that I needed here, including an amount for $25. I wanted them to send it to me via email and do it today. And it's right here where you all need to pay attention to this. Whenever you buy a digital or e-gift card, always check the URL at the top of the page. In this example that I'm showing you right here, Cedar and Vine used the Toast point of sale system, which shows up in the link up there at the top. It's always good to be mindful of that, and hey, maybe even want to track it over time to test different ones and see which ones work for you. After confirming that this was indeed Toast, I then confirmed everything else and began the checkout process. I typed in all my card information for the Platinum card, verified that everything was good for the $25 amount, and I got my confirmation for the transaction right there. They sent me a separate email with the eGift card. It had a QR code there in the middle, also the card number and the PIN as well. They even made it super easy to use too. You can add it directly to Apple Wallet or Google Wallet right there from the email. Going over to my Amex account and looking at the card that I used here, my Schwab Platinum card, there it is, TST for Toast, Cedar and Vine, 25 bucks on March 24th. 2 or 3 days later, I checked back and boom, backdated to March 24th again. I got my full $25 credit. Looking up all the transaction info on mobile so I can put both screenshots over each other, the name of the restaurant, the amount, also the category of restaurant, all checked out perfectly. Same with the website there at the bottom. So this was indeed a direct with restaurant transaction. And it was at this moment in time where I decided to do my third test in a completely different way that I haven't seen anybody else do. I decided to stay with the same restaurant, Cedar and Vine, also stay with the same online method, and also keep this an e-gift card. But what I wanted to test here was reloading the gift card that I already purchased before. And that would still mean, of course, transacting with the Toast POS system. Since reloading an existing gift card does not require going through the restaurant website all over again, I was curious to see if this would actually work. And here's what I found out. To do this, I pulled up the eGift card email that I received for my first Cedar and Vine gift card. And there's a button right there in the email that says check gift card value. So I clicked on it, typed in my PIN and that I'm not a robot to verify everything, and then I was able to see the eGift card with the QR code and the card number. Note that the amount, it was still the $25 I purchased originally. At the very bottom of this page, I saw a button that says add value. So I clicked on it, then added $15 more. From there, I clicked on the checkout button, entered all my card info for the Platinum card, and decided to place the order, and then I received my confirmation page. Back over to my Amex account, I saw on my Platinum card that I had the March 26th date for a Toast Cedar and Vine transaction for the $15. And what do you all see right above that? A full credit for the $15. And all the transaction info was identical to actually buying the gift card for the first time. So it still showed Cedar and Vine as the restaurant, same category, and everything else. Confirming that this all really did work, I went back over to check my balance of the same eGift card, and I saw $40 reflected for the total. And the transaction details below showing the original amount of $25 plus the second transaction for $15. As you work toward maximizing this $400 Resy credit, you might come across another problem that I faced for months: keeping track of your credit card expenses and your money at the same time. And that brings me to the sponsor of today's video, Monarch. Monarch is a personal finance platform that puts all of your major bank accounts, credit cards, and brokerages in one clean dashboard. This means you can see how much you're spending versus how much you're saving, track your financial progress over time, and so much more. What I love most is how it replaces financial stress with confident progress. One of my biggest uses is a monthly net worth check-in. Monarch adds up the current value of the assets I have, subtracts any liabilities, and gives me a clear picture of my net worth in that moment in time. If I see myself heading in a positive direction, I can then feel good about spending a little extra on something I want, like a nice dinner at a Resy restaurant. I also use the built-in budgeting tool. After telling Monarch the maximum I want to spend in each category, I can easily tell if I'm overspending or on track. I also love how it shows me all the transactions on all my cards in one single place. It's how I know the Amex Resy benefit is working, because I can see when a credit posts. And if you have a goal, check out the built-in goals feature. That's where you can build an emergency fund, buy a car, pay down debt, or whatever you like. So if you want a simple way to feel confident about your finances, try Monarch today by getting a free trial and 50% off your first year by using my link on the screen or by signing up with the code REESE50. Now let's get back to that Amex Resy benefit. So far we know that dining in is good to go, and same with buying eGift cards if the restaurant uses Toast. But what about takeout orders? That brings us to the fourth test. I chose to do this one at a different restaurant, Seabreeze Fish Market and Grill. This transaction was performed online. I bought a full meal via Takeout, and this restaurant also used Toast. We're doing all the Toast tests in one video, and so far it's been treating us pretty well. I found Seabreeze Fish Market and Grill on the Resy app. That led me to their website, which at the top menu, I saw the order online button. So I tapped on it, and then the next page here, I did confirm that they're still using Toast there at the very top. That gave me a good level of confidence moving forward here. So I added their swordfish to my cart, clicked on checkout, filled out my contact information through Toast, added all my card info for the Platinum Card, and saw that my total for this meal was going to be $41.14. And with that, I placed the order. Here's my confirmation page saying it was going to be ready in about 14 to 19 minutes, which is the perfect time to go back into the physical real world to pick this up. It may not have been the fanciest restaurant in the world, but I will say that that cut of fish was absolutely phenomenal, so highly recommended to check them out. After picking everything up and enjoying a great meal, I went over to my Amex account, saw the $41.14 transaction that posted for TST Seabreeze Fish Plano, and not long after that, the Platinum Resy credit came through for the full amount. Checking over all the transaction info, it makes perfect sense why it worked, because this was a direct with restaurant transaction. At this point, I think we've exhausted the Toast platform. Whether it's dining in, doing a pickup order, eGift cards, you name it, it all seems to work very well. But what happens if we try another test that does not use the Toast platform? That got me really curious and a little bit concerned that it wouldn't work. Welcome to test number 5. This time we're switching things up again at a new location. The restaurant was called Partenope, a great Italian restaurant. The method was also online because I was purchasing an eGift card once again here, but they used a POS system I had not been familiar with in the past. It's called Tabit. After finding their location in the Resy app, I then went to their website there, and up at the top right, they had a section for gift cards specifically. I tapped on it, and again here verified that we're using the Tabit.us POS system here. I said I was buying this gift card for myself, clicked on next, and filled in my contact info here. Also, the amount for this gift card was $10. Simply being careful not to do a huge amount in case this did not work. I didn't want to waste a bunch of money. From there, I clicked on the Pay $10 button, did my phone verification test, and then typed in my credit card info for the Platinum Card. After that, the gift card was on its way, so I checked my email inbox and I received the eGift card, both with the number, the CVV, and the QR code to use. And this next part is what got me a little bit worried. I saw the transaction post on April 2nd. Bartanope, Dallas, Texas, $10 amount, but looked at the top right of my screen. I took this screenshot on April 8th. 6 days later, and I still had not received any credit. All the other ones that we've seen so far posted within about 2 to 3 days. So I decided to wait even longer, and this time my billing cycle fully closed out, so I looked at all my transactions from March 23rd through April 21st. In fact, I was doing this even a few days after that, specifically on April 24th, and I only saw the original transaction there on April 2nd for $10. But all the way on April 28th, when I checked again, I saw this. It was a beautiful $10 Platinum Resy credit reimbursing me for the full amount at the restaurant. I then checked all the transaction details and they looked totally legit. Restaurant name, category being restaurant, even showing on the statement as the direct transaction with the restaurant. And all that reminded me of the terms, which did say that you need to wait up to 8 weeks, which is basically 2 months for a transaction to come through before you even need to really freak out and contact Amex and have them look into things manually. So I'm still well within the time frame. Even though I did get a little bit concerned, it all worked out in the end. Feeling a big sigh of relief from that previous transaction, I decided to try this again, same thing here with the same restaurant and test number 6, but I wanted to see what would happen if I did a takeout order instead of an eGift card. Going through the same flow in the Resy app, back to the restaurant website to order online this time, I chose the location in Richardson, Texas, said that I want the order to be picked up ASAP, browsed their pretty good looking menu and chose one of their calzones, then proceeded to the payment. I typed in all my info there, passed on the tip because I'm not doing any table service, it's just me going to pick it up myself, added all my credit card info as well for the Platinum Card, did my phone verification too, and then typed in my card info. After that, the order was processed successfully and I got my confirmation for $24.90. Come join me in picking my order up. Now it's time to verify. Over to the Amex dashboard. April 24th, Bartanope, Richardson, $24.90. That all looked good to me, but what looked even better was what I saw directly below that. A beautiful $24.90 Amex Platinum Resy credit that posted shortly thereafter. All the transaction info, again, checking out beautifully as a direct transaction. How about a 7th test on a totally new POS system that we haven't seen before? This will be our 7th test. The place, J. Alexander's. The method, online. The item I purchased, an eGift card, so a digital gift card, and the POS system here being Cashstar. I did my usual Resy flow here, finding J. Alexander's in Plano, Texas. That led me to the website link, so I clicked on that. And then on the website, they still made it super easy too. Gift cards was right there at the top menu. So I went there, looked at the URL on the next page, jalexanders.cashstar.com with a bunch of other stuff. I chose the option that this gift card was for me and clicked on pick a gift card. That gave me a couple different options. For this one, since we're doing it digitally, I chose their digital gift card. From there, you can choose your design, and after that, how much. I added $1 to see if I could get away with that just for a simple test, but their minimum was $5 here, up to $500. So I chose to change that over to $5 and then added that to my cart. The order summary page was all correct, so I decided to check out. I filled out all the contact information, including the card number and stuff like that, reviewed the total for $5, and placed my order, after which my confirmation then followed. They also sent me a separate email to view my gift card. Let's see what happened on the Amex front. I found the transaction on April 8th. CS Cashstar gift card with their main phone number, I guess, for $5. Nothing whatsoever to do with the restaurant name. Though looking into more detailed transaction info on the mobile app, I saw that it did say J. Alexander's B2C, so business to consumer, $5. It showed all the other Cashstar stuff without J. Alexander's being mentioned. And the website that was shown here was just cashstar.com. My hopes of this transaction working to trigger the credit were dwindling fast, but I decided to wait it all out. My billing cycle, which was from March 23rd through April 21st, closed out. Remember, my transaction, you can see there boxed in red, was on April 8th, and I waited to do this screenshot until April 24th, and I saw no credit come through. Waiting 16 days and not seeing a credit was definitely not a good sign, but I will do one final check after all this toward the end of the video. But first, we gotta do 2 more gift card transactions, after which I'll do my final review of all of them at the very end. Here we have test number 8. I'm still staying with our previous place of J. Alexander's, also the same online method, but since they offered 2 different options, I wanted to try their gift card physically sent via mail. This would still be through the same POS system, however, of Cashstar. I went back to the J. Alexander's site, chose gift cards there at the top menu, said that it was for me, and then chose their physical gift card option this time. Clicking on how much then led me to this page where I could type in a manual amount. To make sure that it was different than the first gift card of $5, I chose this one to be $5.50. I then moved forward by clicking on where is it going, typed in all my personal info for my mailing address, and selected the free USPS first class mail option. Because there ain't no way I was gonna pay $18.50 or $22.50 to send a $5 gift card. I added that to my cart, verified everything on the order summary page that followed, and then typed in all my contact info for the payment. Scrolling all the way to the bottom then, I placed my order and got my confirmation screen. And check it out, I got the physical gift card via the mail. But does this method, with the Cashstar network, actually trigger the Resy Credit? There's the transaction right there, April 8th via Cashstar gift card, $5.50. For the transaction info, it mimicked everything we saw for the first time that was with the eGiftcard, which to me was the greatest sign that this was probably not going to work because it was not directly with the Resy restaurant itself. My billing cycle closed out, having all transactions through April 21st here, again checking this on April 24th to allow even more time for my April 8th transaction, and nothing ever came through. So we can call this one a bust as well. But we've still got one more test to go. This is our 9th and final test with Mesomaya, Method Online. I'm trying one of their eGift cards, and their POS system was Wgiftcard, which is probably backed by Fiserv or Paytronix or something like that. There are a lot of white label or unbranded solutions that a lot of companies put out there, and then they can put their own restaurant brand on top of it. I pulled up the Resy app, found Mesomaya in West Plano. That led me to their website. On their site, they had an option for gift cards displayed right at the top. Then I got to the first part of the experience with local favorite restaurants as being the parent company over all these brands. Just to confirm that I was indeed using a totally new POS system, I looked at the URL at the very top. It said localfavorite.wgiftcard.com. So I went over to wgiftcard.com and I saw this landing page here, which really is just business-to-business solutions here, but it said that it's from Fiserv. So yeah, totally new option here that we're trying for the first time. Back over to the site, I decided to do the amount of $11, just making this amount totally distinct from all my other transactions. Added that to my cart, verified everything here with a quantity of 1, and then clicked on checkout. That gave me all the fields for my credit card and billing information, so I filled that out and submitted the order and got my confirmation. They, like all the others, sent that separate email to view my gift card. This one just had an activate card now button there at the bottom to go use it. And naturally, I was very curious to see how this would all surface on the Amex side. I found it right there, also on April 8th. This one said WGC, local favorite Dallas, Texas for $11. I wanted to dig a little bit deeper, so I pulled up the more detailed transaction info and saw pretty much all the same stuff here, with the URL being localfavorite.com, which is not the direct restaurant. but it is a parent company that owns a bunch of restaurants. That gave me a little bit of hope that this might work, but not a lot of it. Once again, I waited till my billing cycle closed out and then a few more days after that. So April 24th is when I took this screenshot, and the transaction, like the ones that we saw before this, were on April 8th. So quite a bit of waiting time here. And what happened? Well, just look at the screen. You can probably see it for yourself. No credit came through for this one either. And that's why I did my last and final check for all 3 of these previous gift cards here on different POS systems or different types on May 25th for transactions that took place on April 8th. And not a single credit came through. In fact, the last transaction on my card was May 4th, and looking over everything, there's just nothing that we haven't seen before. The only Resy credit I saw was $41.14, and that was for that seafood purchase that I made at a different restaurant. We certainly covered a lot here. So let me break this all down into 2 final summary and takeaway slides to make this all very transparent here and easy to understand. For our big summary, we've got the test numbers there on the far left. I included the place of where I made my purchase, also the method here, whether it was dine-in or online. That's followed by the item that I purchased, and I color-coded those. So all the dark blue would be an eGift card. The light blue, which you see toward the bottom, was a physical regular gift card. Bright orange was a meal that was a takeout order, and at the very top with the dark orange, or light brown if you want to call it that, was a regular meal dining in at the restaurant. I included all the POS systems that were used, and the ones in bold, so Toast and Tabit, were the ones where I found success. Finally, the result of whether they worked or not, represented by a green check for good or red X for bad, are on the far right of your screen. So what did I learn through all this experience? All dine-in transactions can work at all Resy partnered restaurants, regardless of the POS system or reservation status, as long as all terms are satisfied. Number 2, anything with Toast works well, at least in my experience as of the recording of this video. So that included my dine-in orders with or without a reservation, takeout orders ordered online, and eGift cards ordered online. Number 3, anything with Tabit works well. Again, dine-in, takeout, and gift cards. And 4th, gift cards can work, as we saw with both Toast and Tabit, but some won't, like we saw with Cashstar, Wgiftcard, and perhaps many others. And that's probably why Amex said that gift cards may not work in their terms. With all that said, it's my sincere hope that this was very revelatory and helpful for all of you. Clearly though, there are many other POS systems and different tests you can run with those based on what you're ordering, be it gift cards, takeout, dine-in, etc. So to make this video even more helpful, drop your own data points down below in the comments with whatever transaction info you're willing to share. It would be awesome to have this video be like a living video over many months and perhaps even years to come with data points from other people, because that would give a lot of us more confidence in going into our transactions to know if we should risk a gift card option or not. And since this whole video was about extracting more value from benefits that you already know and love, remember that there's also a link down below this video to Rakuten as well. So whenever you do some online shopping, that can give you additional rewards on top of your credit card rewards. And hey, if you're into travel, you can even switch your reward preference from cashback over to Amex points too. And that's awesome because this card normally just gets 1 point per dollar on so many transactions. So go earn more Amex points with Rakuten. Also, if you want me to keep you in the loop about great credit card offers as they become available and before they expire, feel free to sign up for my totally free credit card offer alerts. Finally, if you'd like a great way to manage your money and world of finance, like budgeting, tracking progress, and even planning for the future, be sure to check out Monarch as well. I thank you all for joining me in today's video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.